You started this business, zero experience in entrepreneurship, $0 assets under management. How much value assets under management do you guys have right now?
Over 7 billion and growing.
So you're not like doing ketamine in the office. What about like McDonald's or like energy drinks, anything like that?
No, nothing. Water and coffee. I don't need any poison in my body. I am the founder of a company called IRA Financial. We help people unlock their retirement funds to invest in alternative assets like real estate, Bitcoin, gold, private equity, hedge funds. I love Peter Thiel. He's actually like one of my heroes. He has a $5 billion Roth IRA. I told my financial advisor, he's like, Adam, you're insane. Don't do it. He goes, it's a total scam. I have many billionaire, very famous clients that I talk to all the time. And how did they get rich? It wasn't just sitting back and buying stocks. They got rich by buying.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Likewise, this is Adam Bergman. What do you do? I heard you're moving a lot of capital.
Yeah, so I am the founder of a company called IRA Financial. And what we do is we help people unlock their retirement funds to invest in alternative assets like real estate, Bitcoin, gold, private equity, hedge funds. So any assets that are not publicly traded, so non-stocks, non-mutual funds, non-ETFs, the IRS for the last 50 years has allowed Americans to invest their IRA and 401k in alternative assets. And we're one of the few companies that let Americans do that seamlessly, effortlessly, and for one low flat fee.
Instead of investing people's money into normal indices, you allow them to invest in crypto. What exactly are the alternative assets?
So it's actually super easy. So believe it or not, when IRAs were created in 1974, just like 401ks, there's only 3 things you cannot do in an IRA. That's it. Can't buy life insurance, can't buy collectibles like art, and thirdly, you can't do any self-dealing transactions. So any transaction that personally benefits yourself, your family, or any entities controlled by such persons. Otherwise, you can do it, whether it's private equity, hedge funds, private business stock, gold, Bitcoin, real estate, you name it, you can do it. And the fact is most Americans don't know that this option exists. Most Americans have been trained and lied to by the big financial institutions that all you can do are traditional assets in your IRA or 401k. And for the last 50 years, that has not been the case.
So are you able to disclose like the kind of things that you invest in that makes you different than other companies? What's sort of your angle?
So we don't sell investments. This is the beauty of IRA Financial. We have over 7 billion in assets. We have 30,000 clients. We've been in business 16 plus years. I used to be a tax lawyer in New York City, and we can get into this later if you wish, Ivan. But like I had no idea that you could use an IRA to do real estate or anything alternative. And that's one of the catalysts for me starting IRA Financial. Was I thought this was super interesting. This was something I wanted to do, and I couldn't believe I didn't know about it. So I quit my job back in 2008 and started IRA Financial about a year later. And here we are. Fast forward, we've been able to help so many amazing people take control of their retirement money and really invest in what they know and trust, like real estate, whether it's residential, commercial, hard money loans, fix and flips, Airbnbs, gold, Bitcoin, you name it, you can do it. And it's allowed people to really diversify.
So you don't make the investments for people, you give them the means to do it through your platform.
Correct. We are not, unlike Fidelity or Schwab or Vanguard, we don't sell assets. We don't make money or earn commissions on selling stocks or selling Bitcoin or selling real estate. We're totally neutral and agnostic. We have a flat fee, and we are a regulated trust company that is approved to custody retirement accounts. And all we do is get paid for our expertise in helping you unlock your retirement money by receiving your funds tax-free when it's moved to us from your current institution, whether it's Fidelity or Schwab or Vanguard, Bank of America. And then you tell us what to do, where to invest it. We invest it for you. We handle all the annual IRS reporting, administration, record keeping, and you get to do what you do best, which is invest. And we get to do what we do best, which is support you and do all the boring IRS administration.
So basically when most people, they retire, they have no control over how their money is actually spent and invested. And you give people a way to choose what that money goes into rather than just put it into some index, right?
Exactly right. Like people don't realize that when you have all your funds in the S&P 500 or in mutual funds, ETFs, you're not diversified, right? Because you basically own 7 companies. That pretty much makes up the entire S&P 500, 7 powerful companies. So if there is a market correction, then guess what? Your account's going to drop considerably. But if you've diversified properly and you have a percentage of your assets in real estate or in gold or in Bitcoin or in private equity or in hedge funds, you're going to be better diversified. And when things go poorly in the stock market, you will be better positioned long term to not only support yourself in terms of being diversified, but also exceed the potential growth.
How do you get into a business like this? I mean,
honestly, luck. I learned some good lessons. Just luck. Like I'll give you my story. So I was an 8th year tax associate in New York City, a big law firm. By year 5, I was kind of like not sure I want to be a lawyer. I liked the first 5 years were really exciting. I learned a lot, worked with super smart, amazing people, worked on some really cool deals, but it was like a very repetitive, right? Same docs over and over and over. And by like year 5, year 6, I'm like, well, what's next for me? I'm not sure I want to be a lawyer. And I kept like looking for new business opportunities, dabbling around, trying to network, didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I had a really great opportunity to speak to one of my father's friends who was a big software entrepreneur. And he sat me down and he said, Adam, listen, you need to start a business that somehow involves tax. You're a tax lawyer. You have a master's in tax law. If you start a business that's focused on coffee or water or tables, there's 1,000 people that are going to know more than you. It's going to be very hard for you to break through. Focus on tax. You already have a niche. You have an expertise. You have a background. You're going to be successful. So I didn't really know what that meant. Then 2 years later, I had a client, a big hedge fund client that wanted to use his IRA to invest in his hedge fund. And I got asked to do the research. And I was blown away when I found this self-directed IRA world that lo and behold, that yes, you could use your IRA or 401k to invest in alternative assets like real estate. And my thinking was, hey, if I don't know this, I'm a lawyer, I have a master's in tax law, I'm a pretty, educated guy, maybe not the smartest, but educated. If I don't know about this, then God, there's got to be millions and millions of Americans that would want to do what I want to do. I want to invest in real estate. I wanted to invest in my friend's private business and private equity deals. And I would love to use my retirement accounts to do it so I could shelter all the gains from taxation.
Wow. How much would you say that your upbringing and like your family and pedigree helped you get to where you are right now compared to, you just purely you? Like how much would you say that's because of, how you grew up?
Yeah, I think it's a lot, honestly. My father was an entrepreneur and he pushed me to go to law school. And he said, you have to be a tax lawyer. I said, Dad, I don't know if I like tax law. He's like, trust me, you want to be a tax lawyer. That's going to prepare you to be an entrepreneur, get into business. So I actually enjoyed tax law. It was the only course in law school that made sense. And then I got a master's in tax law. Then I got a job, but I still wasn't sure. And he said, well, just do 2 years in law and then you'll figure it out. You'll be educated. You'll be experienced. You'll have opportunities. 2 years dragged into 5 years. It was like the golden handcuffs. They pay you enough that you can have fun in New York City, but not enough that this is kind of your dream job. And that's when I was kind of leaned on my father to be like, hey, what's my next chapter? I've been doing this for a while. I think I want to get into business. Although I had no idea how hard it was to run a business. If I knew, I probably would still be a lawyer.
How many employees do you have right now? How many people?
We have over 100. We got over 100 employees all over the country. And I've been blessed, honestly, just a lot of luck, just hard work and luck. I mean, more luck than hard work, but you need a little of both.
Yeah, I feel you on that part. Would you say, what did your entrepreneur father and his entrepreneur connections teach you when you were young that, most people don't really know? What is some of that timeless advice that you remember hearing?
So, my dad unfortunately passed away 15 years ago. I wish he was still alive because I'd be a lot smarter than I am today. Some of the mistakes I made, I probably would not have made. But number one thing he said is hard work. The money will come. Don't chase money. Work hard. pick something you have a niche in. Even if you don't love it, you'll love it when you start making money. So don't worry. Just pick something you think you have a niche in, you have some expertise in, and work harder than your competitors, and the money's going to come. And he kept saying, whatever you do, Adam, just work as hard as you can. Don't worry about making money. He said your 20s, your 30s is about experience. You don't worry about money. 40s and 50s, you'll start making the money. It's going to come. Don't chase the money. The money will find you. Just work as hard as you can.
How old were you when you started that business?
So I started this business, I was 35 years old, so 34, so around 16 years ago. So I'm 50 now. And if you told me that it takes 10 plus years to start a good business, I probably would never have done this. I thought, incorrectly, that after a couple of years, like, you're rich and everything works out. But no. For the first 5 years, I basically didn't take a salary. Everything the company made, we invested back into the business. A lot of bumps. Thank God I have an amazing wife, because without her, I would never have survived this. She helped me all the way through. And we went through some challenges business wise, obviously, just things happen in business, whether it's personnel or whether it's just, business environment that you have to adjust, but you got to be nimble. You got to be hardworking. And you just have to put your head down and push forward.
You started this business before you can ask ChatGPT, hey, what can I do? Or before a lot of information was out there on how to do it. How do you learn what you need to know when running a business?
You know what? The one thing that helped me, Ivan, was just being a tax lawyer. I worked on probably hundreds of just M&A deals. So I kind of understood how businesses operate, what they need. I didn't know how hard it was to actually do it, but I kind of knew that. So I was able to set up my own entity. I could do this in my sleep. I understood the tax implications of what I was doing, but I didn't know how to sell or market. So that I had to learn. But that's where just the right time. If I maybe started this company 30 years earlier, maybe this doesn't happen, but it was at the right time when, right after '08, so real estate was super inexpensive and people were starting to understand the power of alternative assets. People were starting to look at retirement accounts as a potential gateway to use as a way to build net worth, and using alternative assets like real estate as a gateway. So it was just the right timing. I had the expertise. Just being a tax lawyer, I had an advantage over all my competitors, and I kind of focused on technology to kind of help, the process and make it a lot easier to do.
So you started this business, zero experience in entrepreneurship, $0 assets under management. How many assets under management? How much value assets under management do you guys have right now?
Yeah, over 7 billion. And growing, right? So yeah, I actually bootstrapped this business myself too, which, looking back on it was a good choice, but as I was doing it, I didn't think that was the right course of action. So I basically took all my savings. No investors. It was me and my wife. I own 75% because I did take investors several years ago, but I did this. I owned 100% of the business. I put all my savings, every dollar I had, in this business, mortgage, my apartment, did everything to build this, because I really believed in it. And it turned out to be the right choice. But going through it, part of me was like, oh man, I wish I had some investors. I wish I had a little more cash, a little more liquidity. Things were really tight and hard for the first 5 years. I knew I was going to do this. I knew there was an opportunity. I knew it was a great idea, great business. I believed in myself. We had some really good people helping, but it was hard. I had all my friends were doing well. They were lawyers or doctors or entrepreneurs, and they had money to go on vacation and, do all these things. And my wife and I didn't do anything for 5 years, literally nothing.
Bergman, how do you convince somebody, hey, let me manage your money and I can, or let me take care of it? I know you're not managing their money, but you're still letting them trust you. You're still getting their trust with their money. How do you convince someone, hey, your money is safe with me, especially as an entrepreneur starting out?
Yeah, it was hard. But again, we are a regulated trust company, so there's that. We use banks like Capital One or Wells Fargo or UBS to hold the money. So it wasn't like Adam Bergman was taking the money and holding it in my bank account. But you're right, Ivan. Like, it was something that I hoped I was able to kind of bridge the gap on, and I was able to convince people. But what I did is relied on my experience, my expertise, my background, and say, listen, I'm a tax lawyer. I know this stuff better than anyone in the country. Try me, like call me and ask me a question, and I promise you I'll know more than your lawyer. And it kind of just started there. And it turned out that some lawyers that I used to work with and actually are my clients now, because even though they're 100 times smarter than me, they don't know this area, right? Retirement taxation in the self-directed space is like super niche. And a lot of smart lawyers just don't have the time or the patience to kind of learn it themselves. Just like, you can do a lot of things. You can paint your house, but is it worth your time to spend a whole summer painting your house? No, just hire a painter. Same with this. Like, yeah, can you figure this out yourself if you're a lawyer? Yeah, maybe, but it's just not worth your time. Just hire someone to do it for you.
Who's the most famous person that you've worked with or almost worked with?
Oh man, I actually have a lot of famous clients that I can't disclose, like super well-known, famous, smart investors that everyone listening or watching this knows. We have obviously, privacy considerations, but these are smart people that understand the power of alternative assets. So what people don't understand is the wealthy people. When I say wealthy, I mean 100 million plus. I have many billionaire, very famous clients that I talk to all the time, or their advisors. And how did they get rich? It wasn't just sitting back and buying stocks. They got rich by buying private assets, like private businesses, like private equity investments, like hedge funds, like Bitcoin. That's how real people get rich. So we've all been lied to. We've been told for the last 50 years that, hey, just put all your money in the S&P 500. You're going to get 8, 9, 10%. You're going to be fine. Like, don't worry. It's partly right. Like, maybe you should have 40 to 50% of your money in equities. I do, but I have 50 to 60% of my money in alts. Like, my best investments were Bitcoin, private business stock that I invested with a friend that like 10x'd, and real estate deal. Those are the three deals that made probably 70% of my money.
Interesting. You have a lot of billionaire connections that are working with you, but you can't disclose them. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever had you talked about, Bitcoin and this one stock that 10x'd. I assume you've also had stocks that just went to zero that you invested in. Have you ever had a really big loss at some point that you had to go through?
Yeah, I mean, that's investing. No one's perfect. Even Warren Buffett, makes bad investments. I'm not worried about that because especially in your retirement account, if you're investing in an IRA or 401k, you're going to have 30, 40, 50 years to make up for any mistakes. Because let's say you start investing in your 30s, you really can't touch your IRA or 401k to your 60. Okay. 59 and a half, where all the tax benefits start kicking in. So you're going to have time to make up for bad investments. And of course, people are going to make bad investments. I bought some pretty bad, crypto coins, some pretty bad stocks. I've invested in private equity fund in India that I thought was going to be an unbelievable opportunity. Didn't work out. I've made some investments in private businesses, all the way from cryptos, even in AI now. I've in the last 2 years made some private investments. Not all of them are working out. That's fine. But the ones that do are going to make up for the ones that don't.
Do you get time to relax when you're running a business, managing billions of dollars, hundreds of employees?
You know what? Work for me is relaxing. I'm always working, but I don't consider it work, right? I'm not there like a shovel in the ground, like digging ditches. Like, I'm on my computer, I'm talking to people, I'm strategizing, I'm thinking. I do a lot of walking, jogging, and thinking. Kind of new products, new strategies, new ideas for the business. Where are we going to go? New things, new culture ideas to get our team more motivated. So I'm always 24/7. You can ask my team. I'm always working. But it's not work. When you love what you do, it's not work.
Well, I asked that because that's what everybody says. All of these people of public companies, because they're trying to make sure investors know this is someone I can trust. But I feel like at some point, even someone like Elon Musk, they're sometimes playing video games or doing ketamine or doing something to take the edge off. Do you have something like that where when you're not working as an entrepreneur, what are you doing?
Yeah, I like to run every morning. So I try to run like 3 to 5 miles. I wake up super early. I try to read the Wall Street Journal, like check X, see what's going on in the world. And then I run. If I don't run because I'm tired, I'll walk like 5 to 6 miles. Just thinking. Sometimes I'm not even listening to music or podcasts, just thinking. And then I'll work. And other than that, I like watching the Knicks. So I'm really happy the New York Knicks are going to the finals. So I'm like a really big basketball Knicks fan, and I like football. Like I'll hang out with my kids and watch football on the weekends, but that's kind of it. Otherwise, I love what I do. Even Ivan, even if you gave me $100 billion today and said, Adam, I want to buy your business, I'd say, fine, no problem, but I'm coming with it. I'm working with you, Ivan. Like this is all I want to do.
That's amazing. Tell me about this thinking that you do, because what makes it different? Because I know you're doing a lot of thinking. How much of your day is just solitude in your own thoughts?
During the day, none. I'm too busy trying to I'm always on calls or, just things going on. Right. But my morning, is like to myself. So my wife, she'll like work out in the gym in our house. Like we have a treadmill. So she'll run on the treadmill and I go outside because I live in Miami now. So I get to do that 12 months a year. And that's my like alone time where I get to kind of think. And it's generally like, okay, what am I doing today? What are my 3 things I want to accomplish? I try to keep it to 3 realistic things, not like, oh, I'm going to redo my app and, get another 50,000 accounts today. Like I'm realistic. I'm like, what are my 3 wins today? I'm always trying to get wins. Not worried about the past. I never go back and look at yesterday. I'm like, what are my wins today? I want 3 wins. And it could be as small as like, I want to be able to like connect with this person and make sure that, like we're connected in this particular thing we're working on. Like it doesn't have to be monumental, massive stuff, but just some wins.
Mm-hmm. How important is that alone time at the start of your day to your success?
I think it's quite important. I really cherish it, because it like kind of sets me, and positions me for the rest of the day. So it kind of grounds me. I know what I want to do. I get back home. I have like a couple shots of espresso, take a shower, and I'm at the office and I'm like ready to go. And I feel really good.
Wait, so what time does work start at your office? Just so I can get an idea of your day.
Technically 9 a.m. EST is kind of like when people are working. We have some people in different parts of the country, so it could be at different times, but generally 9 a.m. EST. And so I have to get to the office by then. So I'm generally up by like 6 a.m.
Jeez. If you're up at 6 a.m., it means you're going to sleep at what, like 11 or something?
10:30, 11. I usually go to bed by last night. It depends on the night, but usually I try to get to bed 10:30 to 11. Yeah.
I feel like most entrepreneurs aren't staying up until like 3 or 4 a.m. Unfortunately, I got to change that.
You know what, Ivan? How about this? There's no playbook. Okay. I know people that are so successful that do all their great work from 11 to 3. And I know others that go to bed at 9 and work great from 5 to 10 in the morning. Like there's no playbook. Everyone's different. You got to do what's best for you and like what your DNA is. For me, I just know like what I need to do to be successful. I'm 50 years old. Like I've made a lot of mistakes. I can teach a course in a university of all the things you should not do when you're a first time CEO. But you learn from your mistakes and you kind of just move on.
What is a big mistake you made as a CEO? I saw this Instagram reel. This one guy said he gave his employees, he offered to give them $10,000 if they quit so that he can do like a loyalty test. And then like 70% of people quit. Like
not good.
what is like a big mistake you made as a CEO that you want to tell other people about and so they can not make that mistake?
Yeah. So all my mistakes surround one thing, and that's not making sure that I'm hiring the best and smartest people. So my first mistake is I thought, hey, I'm this like smart lawyer, so I don't need to hire smarter people than me. I can just kind of hire some team players around me and I'm going to be the superstar and I'll be the LeBron James and I'll just get some like role players around me and I'm going to be fine. And guess what? What I should have done is hired smarter people around me, which would have elevated me and the business. So I believe I lost potentially some growth opportunities because it was always me driving. I don't know if it was intentionally or not, but like the people that I initially worked with, at some point I probably should have kind of augmented the talent level around me. Not that they weren't amazing people, but as the company grew, there probably was a different role for them. And I kept promoting them because I was loyal to them and I liked them a lot. We were buddies. But as the company grows and scales, like there's different skill sets needed for that particular stage of the business. I didn't know that. I thought you can just kind of go with the same team the whole way through. And unfortunately, that just doesn't work. And I got burnt a couple times where the company just was kind of stuck in quicksand because we just didn't have the right people. So I would tell anyone listening, watching, hey, if you're starting a business, you got a startup or it's a relatively new business or even a mature business, make sure you have the best and smartest, overpay for talent.
I've noticed that too for my business. You need to have the best people possible. Otherwise, it's not like real business. Because if it's average people, they're going to get average results by default, right?
It's so true. And like, again, I'm like a sports analogy. I'm a big sports person and it's kind of the same thing, right? If you don't have the best players on your team, like you're probably not going to win the championship. And not everyone can be that best player. Like you do need role players, but you need enough great players to get to that championship level. Otherwise, like you said, you're just going to be kind of an average company.
The average person only knows about B2C businesses. Like when they think of starting a business, they think about either giving a product to consumers, like starting a restaurant or starting like a product that you're selling people. And maybe they know about service businesses. There's a whole other world out there, which is like 80% of businesses, which is sort of what you're doing with, this very niche idea of helping people with their IRA or government contracts or like all of these different business types. And I feel like for the average person, they can never even glance into that world because when you're starting out the business, you need to have some sort of connections. You need to have some sort of backing until you get started. What do you think that you would have been able to start your current business without having the original network that you had of people to go out to and say, hey, this is my business. This is what I'm selling. I suggest that you try it out.
You know what? For me, I actually just started with Google Ads. Like I didn't go to my network at all because I didn't know that many people that actually wanted to do this. So most of my friends thought I was crazy to leave law. I was an 8th year tax associate making a lot of money in 2008. And they thought I was just bonkers to like leave and start this business that they believe not many people would want to actually use. So I thought they were wrong. So I took my chance. And I always said, okay, I can always fall back on law if it doesn't work out in a few years. Just go back to being a lawyer. But I truly in my gut knew that this is something I want to do. I wanted to do real estate. Most of my money was tied in the retirement accounts. Like in the United States today, there's $39 trillion in retirement money. There's $19 trillion in IRAs. There's 65 million IRAs. It's the largest pool of savings for Americans. Why? Because it works, right? Because your money grows without tax. It's a smart way to save. You should save in an IRA or 401k versus personal funds because of the tax savings. So I knew there was something here. I didn't know if I'd be able to execute on my vision. There, I just got lucky, but it was more just kind of the right time, right place. What helped me, like my network of friends and family, I had confidence. My wife, obviously, like just believed in this. She was doing it with me. We believed in what we were doing. That was super helpful. What I really always tell people is you need peace at work, but you also need peace at home, right? Like you need to have balance. And if I didn't have the support of my wife, I don't know if I would have done it because I think I would have just like been so stressed out. I probably would have quit.
Wow. So you got your original clients through Google Ads.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to do Google Ads?
Good question. Again, just like me, I lived in New York City. I just, I guess you can say I had some network of friends that I would talk and let them know what I was doing. They're like, oh, okay, this is what you need to do. There's a Google, you got to advertise in Google. So I kind of figured it out myself, made obviously a lot of mistakes, then hired a company to help me. And then kind of one thing after another. I'll tell you a funny story. So my first client, I still remember to this day. It was in 2010, February 10th, 2010. And so I just go live on Google Ads that day, Ivan. And the phone rings. I pick it up. I didn't even have an office. I'm in my apartment. My wife's there. We have no clients, literally the website, and that's it. And we speak to this gentleman. He's like, I'm going through my whole spiel. And he's like, okay, how do I get started? And I'm like, wait, you want to do this? So I put him on hold. I'm like, to my wife, I'm like, Jacqueline, like, what do we do? This guy wants to do this. Like, she's like, just tell him it's okay. We'll send him the info. Like, we got a client. Let's figure this out. Just figured it out. And that, like, one after the other. And I just knew what I was doing, being a tax lawyer. So I knew I could figure it out, but I didn't know if it would work. I just took a chance.
That's crazy. I like that a lot. You just thrust yourself into these positions. And when you're there, you figure out what to do next, basically.
Just got to do it. Sometimes if you just put so much effort into like the laboratory, and I know some people that just can never get the business started, right? They're like always doing the pre-startup phase where it's like the business plans, perfecting the business plan, the financial budget, the projections. It's like, just start it, man. Just go for it. If it fails, it will fail. Okay. I promise your business plan is not going to matter.
It's true. My company, we've been in pre-launch for like 2.5 months now, where the product isn't good enough to be out, but it's still really good. So we've been like building a pre-order list, giving people beta access, because we know that we don't want to waste time. We might as well get people like something, you always just want to put yourself out there as much as you can. What is something that all of these successful people that you speak to have in common?
It's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's like a secret recipe to like what makes someone successful. Looking at kind of like my friends, family network of the people that made it. I hate to say this because it's just maybe not so,
please no cliches like work hard.
Yeah,
there's gotta be something.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just luck. It's a game.
That's what I keep hearing. That's how I feel.
You can say maybe it's God. I don't know. Maybe it's from God. I don't know. Maybe some people are just destined to be like successful. Doesn't mean like I look back at high school, right? Like who the smartest kids in high school are not the most successful today, right? I heard that same thing. I think this is it. You have to be hardworking. You got to be likable. People have to want to do business with you. You have to like not give a crap, honestly, if I can say that. You have to be willing to fail. I failed before I started this company. I had a law type document business with some friends after law school, and then through being a lawyer. It probably would have worked. We had bad tech. We just didn't know what we were doing. It failed. And I learned a lot from that experience. So you just basically have to not give a crap, have to like believe in what you want to do, and have to just work hard, push a little bit of luck and a good, and have a niche, right? Like be like, I think I'm good at selling whatever, tables or water or coffee, and really try to know as much as you can about that business in that area, and kind of really, and embrace that product or industry. You just need luck too. I wish I had a secret recipe. Anyone that tells you, hey, if you do A, B, and C, you're going to be rich, like they're just lying to you. It's BS.
I feel like once you get to a point where you can tell people what to do, you've already done it, so it doesn't work anymore. So you need to kind of figure out your way of running that business.
Yeah, everything's individualistic. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. Like you got to be true to yourself. You got to know who you are, and you got to just take chances. And at some point, like you're in 2 months pre startup, like at some point you're just going to need to be like, I'm doing it. I don't care. It's not perfect. The product's good enough. Like, let's go. Let's see if we have a business here before wasting a year. And turns out there's no business here. So you just got to try. Like my wife always says, like, every time I complain about something, she's like, what are you going to do? Quit? If you're not going to quit, just shut up and fight. She always says that. She's like, stop just complaining. No one cares. If you're not going to quit, just fight through it. So if you believe in your business, just fight through it. But on top of that, the one thing people don't understand, Ivan, I would say, is that when you are starting a business, be realistic, right? If you're starting a candy store in your local town of 12,000 people, that's not $1 billion business. That never will be. So like, don't go in your head and think I'm building $1 billion business. Just say I'm going to build a really good business that hopefully is going to be successful, take care of my family, but it's not going to be Microsoft. So you have to understand what you're getting into, what you want out of the business. You have to be realistic and tell yourself, in 5 years, I hope to be here, but don't think that like in the first 2 weeks, you're going to have 100,000 of profit. And the same for whether it's software, AI, like understand what's realistic, what the time frame is. Stop with BS like numbers on spreadsheets. Like I have a lot of friends, they'll spend months.
You're in tax. You're the one that does BS numbers on spreadsheets.
I know. And I had to stop myself. You're 100% right. I had to stop myself to be like, this is BS. I need to see what's out there. I can torture the spreadsheet for the next 2 years. I'll never know. I need to start this thing. And that's what I did. I've like told my wife, I'm like, we're doing Google ads. We have a website. We kind of know what we need to do. We think we have an advantage over our competitors. Let's just do it. And that was it.
That's crazy. How long did it take you from conception to your first clients? Like, what was the time frame?
It was a year. It took time. So I'm not going to say
it's not like the first day, but it took you a whole year of building everything.
It took me a year just to like, first of all, just kind of get things going. Again, this is 2008. So building a website wasn't like today where it could be done in a day. It took like 3 months. And so everything took way longer than I thought. I thought it would take like 3 to 4 months. It ended up taking close to a year. So, but part of me was like, am I ready? Maybe I should like keep kind of massaging the concept and like making the website better and writing more white papers. And then my wife was just like, just stop, just let's do it. Let's see what's out here and let's stop procrastinating. Like stop being scared. Just do it.
Well, what's the worst advice you've gotten?
Oh, I've gotten a lot of bad advice over the years. Straight away, my friends told me, don't do this, right? Like no one's going to buy alternative assets in our IRA. Like you're going to be a successful lawyer. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. Like you're crazy. Don't do this. A lot of friends tell me that. But my wife, my father, my sister, like all my core people in my family said, this is what you want to do. Go for it. It's okay. I was in my 30s. So let's say I blew all my money and the business failed. I'd have many years to kind of keep rebuilding my retirement portfolio. I was lucky. I could always go back and be a lawyer, right? So like some entrepreneurs don't have a degree to fall back on. I knew, which gave me a lot of comfort at night in the first 2 years. If I didn't know if I was going to be able to have the capacity to keep going, it's like, I can always just go back to law. I'd be miserable, but like I can put food on the table.
Wow. I mean, that's basic though. Everyone has a story where people tell them don't do it. Did you ever speak to like an entrepreneur or like somebody that genuinely told you something? For example, they said, do this. And you were like, bro, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. Because I'm sure I've gotten advice like that.
You know what? I probably have. I always like to talk to people that are more successful than me. Even, I don't care if they're smarter or what, older. So people that are older than me are wiser than me. So even if the person is older and maybe not as successful, I will listen because they're older. I'm going to respect them because they're wiser than me. And then anyone who's successful, I don't care what industry, I will listen. So yeah, I've been told things that, just didn't work out for me. I had some people tell me, go get private equity investors. This was like 9 years ago. I was considering doing a reverse merger, like a publicly taking my company public 8 years ago. And it was the worst decision. My lawyer told me don't do it, but I had some people I trust that told me to do it. And it would have been a horrible decision because the company wasn't ready for that phase. And I would have ended up selling a chunk of the company for a too low of a value, and it would have just handcuffed the company. So I kind of went down that path for a bunch of time. Thankfully, it never materialized, and I kind of was able to move off from that. But that would have been a horrible decision if I took my company public 7, 8 years ago when it just wasn't ready.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. I've had similar conversations like that.
And honestly, I mean, that's where luck comes in. And that's where like my biggest mistake at that point was I was chasing the money, right? At that point, I was doing this almost 8 years. All my friends were like, I saw people around me that were like getting successful, selling their business. And I got jealous. And I was like, hey, that should be me. I should get some liquidity because I didn't have any money. Like my company was doing well. I was taking a tiny salary, like half of what I made as a lawyer, less than half.
Well, and now that you've made it, is there a contrast to that? Are you driving a McLaren? Do you have fruits to show for your labor?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't have a McLaren, but just having a little more liquidity in your life, what it gives you is it gives you a little bit more just clarity. I'm able to be a better long-term founder / investor. So now when I look at my business, I'm not worried about next year. I'm like, where's the company going to be in 3 to 5 years? Because I have enough money in the bank that I'm okay. Like I don't need to sell another share of stock in the next year or 2 years because thankfully I have enough. My family's okay. We're good. So it allows me to think more strategically, more long-term, and not chase dollars. Because when you chase dollars, you make bad decisions.
I'm really curious about this because I see people like Peter Thiel, a lot of these entrepreneurs, they're doing stuff like peptides, taking experimental vitamins because they believe it'll help their cognition. Are you on any of that?
No, I love Peter Thiel. He's actually like one of my heroes. He has a $5 billion Roth IRA. He probably is one of the biggest Roth IRAs in the world. He's a brilliant guy. I love him. I'd hope to be able to meet him at some point. So if you can help me on that, Ivan, like I'll love you forever. But no, I just run. Like my thing, I eat healthy. I run and I try not to I actually don't like drink a lot. I don't do anything that's bad for you. I try not to. I like some chocolate here and there. That's probably like my biggest vice. At night sometimes I'll have some like chocolate almonds and things like that. But I try to stay healthy. I try not to do anything that's bad for you. And that's kind of what I do. I have enough energy. I'm totally like focused. I don't need any substances to push me forward.
So you're not like doing ketamine in the office?
No,
what about like,
I don't need it.
What about like McDonald's or like
never
energy drinks, anything like that?
No, nothing. Water and coffee. I don't need it. I have tons of energy. I get good enough sleep. I'm healthy. I eat well. I don't need any poison in my body. If people want to do that, God bless them. Everyone can do what they want. I'm kind of like very libertarian that way, but my whole family, like we're very healthy. We eat clean, not a lot of fat, and try to just be as healthy as we can, exercise. And that gives me enough energy. Like I can work till midnight if I have to. Like I don't need any boost.
These might seem like weird questions, but to a lot of people, being able to see into how your life operates and seeing that contrast, it's very important for them. A lot of people, they think like, I need to get on Adderall. I see people saying, oh yeah, I need Adderall to work. Stuff like that. And it's horrible. Yeah,
listen, again, I don't want to pass judgment. People can do what they feel is good for them. But for me personally, I don't need it. You can ask my team, like I am so ready to go every Monday morning. Like, I'm pumped up. I love what I do. I'm blessed. Like I get to do what I love. I believe in it. I'm able to help so many people take advantage of the retirement system and literally unlock millions of dollars for themselves. Like I've had so many clients generate millions of dollars of tax-free wealth. And not that I'm a genius, but the system works. It's rigged in our favor. Like when you compound your returns without tax, you're going to get rich. And I'm just blessed that I was able to figure this out and use my tax background to help so many people.
You get to see into what a lot of these people invest in. Like you said, you have billionaires working with you.
Yeah.
What are some patterns in investments that you get to see where you're like, oh my gosh, this is a really good thing to invest in?
Yes. So what I've seen over the years, the last 15, 16 plus years is super wealthy people are generally, when they look at their portfolio and how their assets are allocated, it's not 60% to stocks and 40% to fixed income, like bonds. It's total opposite. It's actually 60 to 70% alternative assets and 30% to fixed income and equities. Like, I'm actually writing a book about this, because what blew me away is that all these wealthy people are so invested in alternative assets like real estate or private businesses, hedge funds, Bitcoin, gold, and have such little exposure to like equities and fixed income like bonds, where we've all been lied to for the last 50 years to say, like, just put your money in stocks and bonds, like you're going to be rich. But the really rich people aren't doing that. So that's kind of like where I believe that I could hopefully educate people to be like, hey, this exists. If you want to really generate alpha and real wealth in a retirement account, take advantage of your time horizon. Like the fact that you're a liquid, get a premium for being a liquid. Tie that money up in real estate or Bitcoin or private stock. That's how you're going to generate like 5x, 10x returns. Yeah, you can buy NVIDIA and get lucky, but if you're just in the S&P 500 or in ETFs, like you'll do okay, but you're not going to hit home runs.
Not everyone knows though how to find these random companies at 10x. Like what exactly is your process when you're doing research on these companies and finding the right companies to invest in?
Yeah. So I think a lot of it, there are opportunities out there. There's platforms out there. There's your network. For real estate, that's easy, right? We all can do it. Just go online and you can look at homes you want to buy. There's always real estate deals in your community. You just got to kind of look for them. They're there. And you got to obviously do your diligence. But with AI, like AI can do your diligence for you. You could literally put the, financial projections and the models in, and it can tell you if it's a good deal or not. So no excuse. And then for private business stuff, again, that's just networking. It's just being out there and saying, hey, I'm looking at deals, and deals will find you. If you have some money and you're looking to invest, like the deals will find you. Bitcoin, I got lucky at a client back in early 2015, which I thought was
2015
right,
Bitcoin. Wow.
Yeah, that's not even that good. I had clients doing it in 2010 and 11 who have like crazy amounts of money in Bitcoin now. I thought I was late to the game in 15.
I remember hearing about Bitcoin when I was 14, and I tried to invest. I couldn't figure it out. I just gave up.
Yeah, we were one of the first companies in the country to allow retirement accounts to invest in Bitcoin back in 15. And whether it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, and now like with our own platform, we have I think the best platform in the country. If you want to do cryptos and stocks and alternative assets, we're literally the only platform in the country where you can do everything: stocks, Bitcoin, real estate, all in one platform for one low flat fee. Doesn't exist.
That's insane. So you put money into Bitcoin early on, and you talked about how you can find real estate. A lot of the stocks that you find, you can kind of go to your network, or you can kind of do research online. But a majority of how you do the research for the assets that you buy, would that be through the people that you know? Would that be through like you specifically? How much? Like, I guess I don't want to get too personal, but I really want to see into like your thought process.
Yeah.
Is it Bitcoin? Is it real estate? Is it, oh, my friend knows a guy who's about to IPO a company. I know this company's going to do well. How does this different echelon of society do their financial research?
I personally think for me, it's quite simple. Everything I do comes down to risk versus reward. So I look at a deal, and let's say I want to put 50 grand, and I don't put a lot of money in each deal, right? I kind of sprinkle my money around. So I look at the deal and I say, okay, I want to put 50 grand or 75 grand in. What's my upside? Can I 10x this thing? Is it a candy store in the corner, or is it a potential AI company that could, 10 or 100x? And what's my risk? I lose my 50K or my 75K, and I balance it. So for Bitcoin, it was pretty easy. I looked at Bitcoin in 2015. I was like, I'm going to put X dollars in from my Roth IRA. I doubt it goes to zero, but let's say I lose 50% of my value. Okay, I lost 25K. But if this client is right, and this is going to 100x, I can be rich forever. So that's everything I do, whether it's real estate, whether it's AI, private stock, quantum computing, like company I invested in. What's my upside? Or robotics? Like, is it 100x, 10x? And what's my risk? And that's everything I do. If it's a small reward, then my risk is small. Then that's fine. I just need to know what I'm going into doing. If it's a high reward, it's going to be a high risk. Okay, I need to make sure I allocate that properly.
Isn't it crazy that one guy sells his house and puts it all into Bitcoin and he's set for life? His kids are set for life. Another guy spends 30 years doing his due diligence and he retires middle class.
I know. It happened to me 2015. I told my financial advisor, who's a good friend of mine, I told him I'm going to put X dollars into Bitcoin. He's like, Adam, you're insane. Don't do it. He goes, it's a total scam. I said, I don't think so. I explained to him blockchain and where I think this could go. But I was like, you could be right. I don't think it's going to zero, but maybe it drops 50%. But I'm willing to take the risk because if it does go and I lose half my money, I'm only in my early 40s. Like, I have 20 to 30 years to make it up. Like, big deal. Okay. I didn't put $1 million in. I wish I did, but I put like 50K. Okay. Just to give some round numbers. So if I listened to my advisor, yeah, I would have lost, a lot of money, $1 million plus. And that would have killed me. So sometimes you just got to go with your gut and just look at the reward versus risk proposition and just kind of make sure you're comfortable with that proposition and just go with it if you feel good about it. Just don't know.
What is the big development that your company is currently working on?
Yeah, so we're super excited. We got a couple things. Like we launched our new app and web platform where we're the only company in the whole country where you can buy stocks through our partnership with Interactive Brokers. You can buy stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, all zero commission, free. And you can buy cryptos through our partnership with Bitstamp, Robinhood. So you can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, 100 coins. Okay. All
zero commission?
Together. No, for cryptos, there's there's a commission of up to 1%, but we don't have a holding fee. So once you buy it, you can hold it forever for no fee. So you can buy stocks, you can buy cryptos in your IRA, 401k, Roth IRA, health savings accounts, Coverdale. And you can also do alternative assets like real estate, private equity, hedge funds, all in one account, all for less than $500 a year. Okay. Doesn't exist. You can't do this at Robinhood. You can't do this at Vanguard, Schwab, Fidelity. You can't do it anywhere. We're the only platform in the whole country where you can do stocks, cryptos, and alternative assets seamlessly for one low flat fee, unlimited trading.
So why did Interactive Brokers find you so special to give you the 0% commission kind of partnership?
I think we have $7 billion in assets where we grow, growing very fast. We have thousands of clients every year, and they're hopefully interested in building a strong relationship with us, and so am I. So that's what we're trying to do here, and we use them as the platform for the trading. And this is something that this has been my vision from day one. It took me, Ivan, 16 years to get here. But my vision when I started this company, when I looked at the tax code as a tax lawyer, I said, there's no reason that I cannot buy alternative assets like real estate or gold in my Vanguard IRA account or Schwab or Fidelity or Bank of America or Merrill Lynch. There's no reason. Why are the big banks blocking me from doing it? The tax code's clear. You can do everything in your retirement account except three things, right? Life insurance, collectibles, and self-dealing. Why can't I buy stocks, gold, real estate, now Bitcoin in one platform? Makes no sense. So I said, I'm going to do it. But it took a lot of time to obviously get the financial institutions to understand that this is possible, to build out the crypto platform, and to kind of use technology, including AI, in a way that seamlessly kind of brings it all together, full circle, and makes it easy for the user to experience.
Yeah, and you don't take a lot of these companies, they just take a percentage off of everything you buy, and it ends up compounding to
totally
thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yes, that's criminal. We don't do that. I mean, we're self-directed. Why should I take money from you, Ivan, because you're a smart investor? No, you're going to pay me for the administration. I'm going to custody your assets. I'm going to handle all the IRS reporting, all the administration. I'm going to provide record keeping services. I'm also going to provide you tax support, compliance shield, tax reporting, tax filings. I'm going to handle everything. Pay me for that, but don't pay me because you're a good investor. And I would put my platform up against any platform in the whole country, from Schwab to Vanguard to Robinhood. You can't buy Bitcoin and IRA and Robinhood. I will put IRA Financial up against any of those platforms for retirement accounts. They don't even compare. Nothing. And they're taking percentages on top of that. But you can't buy cryptos in a retirement account with the ability to buy stocks, as well as the ability to do real estate or hard money loans or private stock, gold in one platform for one low flat fee. Doesn't exist. That's why I'm so pumped.
Building up this business that has $7 billion assets under management. Did you make any enemies? Do you have any enemies?
You know what? I don't think so. I listen, I want to compete with my competitors. I want to beat them all, but it's not a vicious competitive environment because listen, there's 65 million IRAs out there. There's $19 trillion in IRA money. There's over $1 trillion of money that moves from employer retirement plans to IRAs every year. So of course I want every account, right? I'm competitive. I want to win. But I don't need to hate my competitors. It's just not part of it. We all are trying to do good work to educate people on the power of the alternative asset world and retirements. So we're all kind of in the same boat. Yes, I want all their accounts. They want all mine, but it's a friendly, competitive environment, I would say.
Okay. So you're not like at each other's throats.
No, I don't think that's the case. My enemies, I don't want to say enemies, but like, I'm mad at the large institutions, right? The Fidelities, the Schwabs, because they've essentially walled off alternative assets to retirement accounts for no reason. You know, they claim it's too risky and it's untrue. They just don't make money when people buy real estate or gold or do hard money loans in their retirement account. So they just wall you off. And that's unfair because you're limiting people's ability to really invest wisely and save.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. One more question, sure. And this kind of wraps everything up. I think it's very important. There's a young man watching this at home right now who, you know, he wants to colonize the stars. Like he wants to become a very successful person. And he doesn't really have much right now. What is, and please don't give me like some basic get lucky or work hard. Yeah, what is something that you've learned from the entire process of going to university, building a business and it failing, and then building a business where you have all this money under management? What is something you've learned in that whole experience that you can somehow summarize right now off the top of your head for that person watching?
Easy. Be an expert in the space you want to attack. So if it's colonizing Mars or the stars,
that's just a metaphor for they want to be successful.
Okay, well, be successful is great, but you got to figure out what you want to be successful at, right? So if you want to be a ballerina, be the best ballerina you can. If you want to, be in the water business business, learn everything you can about the water business. Learn everything about plastics, about how water bottles are made, how water is brought into filtration systems. Like, learn about the space. Don't just go in and be like, yeah, I like clothes. I'm going to just start a clothing company. Like, no. Go become a tailor. Learn how the clothes are made. Work in a clothing factory. Intern for a clothing company. Like, there's a process. I spent 8 years as a lawyer before I started this company. Okay. I went to law school. I had a master's in tax law. I didn't just like wake up in college and be like, I want to do an IRA company. No, like, you have to go on that journey. That journey is hard, but it's rewarding. Okay. So if you are lucky enough to know what you want to do, I want to, create a fintech company. Okay. What in fintech do you want to do? I want to do, payment rails. Okay. Learn everything you could learn about payment rails. Go work for a payment rail company. Like my father always said, go make mistakes with other people's money. So I was a lawyer for 8 years. I made a lot of mistakes as a lawyer. I learned how to operate. I learned what it meant to work and have a task and complete it and screw up and fix those screw ups. So make mistakes with other people's money, get as much expertise as you can in the industry you want to tackle. Don't worry about the money, right? Like my father used to always say, like, my dream was to be the GM of the Knicks. Okay. Didn't happen. Right. So my dad always said, you want to be a GM of the Knicks, go intern there. Don't worry about money. Take a free job. Learn as much as you can about being the GM of the Knicks. Then you will get yourself in a position to maybe be the GM. But don't just take the best job and think you're going to transition into being the GM of the Knicks. You got to be in the basketball world to be the GM of the Knicks. Same with any business. Go learn it. Start at the bottom. You want to learn about waste management? Be a garbage collector. Okay. You want to learn about real estate? Guess what? Go learn how to build a home. Go work outside for a year building a home. You'll learn more in that year than you will sitting at a desk. Like, you got to immerse yourself in what you want to do. Then you'll be successful. Like, people think Elon Musk is like this, oh, he's just a smart guy that sits around, playing video games. No, he is working, and literally read his biography by Walter Isaacson on Musk. It's unbelievable. Like, this guy will immerse himself. How did he learn SpaceX and rockets? He learned everything he could about rockets, right? He immersed himself. He made tons of mistakes. He almost failed 100 times. Like, he didn't just like wake up and be like, I'm going to just go to Mars. Like, he became the best and smartest rocket potential engineer out there. That's what you got to do.
Very well said. You're saying I shouldn't just buy Andrew Tate's course and then expect to be a millionaire.
No, that's BS. You got to immerse yourself in it. No one's going to teach you how to do it. You can get some advice. You can listen to people like me, but that's not going to get you there. You got to, whether it's studying or get the experience, the education in what you want to do. Like, success is tied to what you're going to do to be successful. You can't just be like, I want to be rich. Okay. What's going to get you rich? What are you doing? You want to build computers? Go work at a company that builds computers. Learn everything you need to know about building computers, then build your own computer.
Well said. Adam, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine. Thank you, Ivan.
Guys, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. All of Adam's information will be below. His LinkedIn probably, whether he wants his Instagram, his Twitter, everything there in the description. And I'll see you on the next one.